Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Zones 33-34 Public Image Boot Camp. This is such an exciting webinar for us. It's really one that we build up to every year, and I just want to welcome everyone and thank you for being here this evening. My name is Susan Corder. I am Rotary Public Image Coordinator for Zone 34, and also with us tonight we have Billy Black, who is Rotary Public Image Coordinator for Zone 33, and we're going to start off by introducing our teams here to use tonight.
Right. I'm on the far left. I'm Billy Black, and you can see my email address, my cell number, and I serve the far west of our zone, District 7545 and District 7570. Dawn serves South Carolina and 7710, Dawn Rochelle. Chris Justice serves the middle, so 7670, 7680, and 7690. Taylor Alphen serves the coast of North Carolina, so 7720 and 7730. Our brand new member, Marie Fallon, it serves Pennsylvania, so that's 7305, 7280, and 7360. And Hamilton serves the Chesapeake, so 7600, 7610, 7620, and 7630. And that's our team, and you can find us on elevaterotary.org.
Thanks, Billy. And here's the amazing team from Zone 34. And I really have to say, both of our teams have a really wonderful lineup. We're so fortunate to have a diverse array of talent. I'm there on the left, Susan Corder. You can see the districts I cover there. Right next to me is Amanda Groover. And then we have Sean Caddy, Caroline Blocklinger, and Michael Wallstrom. Like I said, just a really great lineup of talent. We've been very fortunate, Billy and I, to have developed such an amazing team to be able to continue to offer you guys and your clubs and your members all of the wonderful tools and resources centered around public image. Really quickly before I move on, I just want to remind you we are on a webinar tonight, so please, if you have any questions, type them in the Q&A session. We'll try to address them at the end of the webinar, but we have a ton of stuff jam-packed into this webinar, and we might run a little bit over, but not to worry, it is being recorded. We'll try to get to your questions at the end if we can, but if not, we'll be sure to address those at our follow-up session on May 8th. We'll talk a little bit more about later this evening. If you do have to hop off at any time, we will be sending a link out to the recording as well later this week. Like I mentioned, we have such an amazing team that's able to offer these great resources to clubs throughout our zones and districts throughout zones 33 and 34. And occasionally we ask during the task that you complete for feedback from you. And I wanted to share some amazing quotes that we've been given by you guys, by Rotarians, about some of the programs that we've implemented at the zone level for the clubs and districts. Brian from District 7750 said, I found this program to be highly beneficial by providing structure and goals to my role as PI chair. My club was able to strengthen relationships with local news media, maintain healthy social media presence, and strengthen engagement with membership. Becca from District 7710 said the inventory audit checklist was really helpful, and she's referencing our task there that starts off in July. Just knowing what we had social media, web, video tools, and we're using it well, where, when, how we could improve. Creating a PI plan for the year was also helpful, kept us on task, and let us know what was coming up next. And then we have a quote from Anne Marie from District 7030. Who said, you've helped our club by hosting the relevant seminars and talks on PI info that we could have accessed, by pointing us in the right direction to source information, and by being a very visible and active PI team for the year, which is really what we strive to do as well. We try to stay connected and active with you as the Rotarians at the club level and keep those lines of communications open. And these webinars are a great way to do that. And then Carrie from Zone 34, District 6960 said that as a new PI chair, I can do a better job now that I have a better handle on what is expected and have wrangled all the resources. I'll look to delegating more to the committee members in ways that can easily help their abilities. Another great quote, because again, that's something we're going to talk about today, putting together a team, understanding what resources available, and then knowing how to use them. So boot camp basics. These are just a few highlights of things that we're going to cover tonight, and we hope you come away with a better grasp of understanding. We're going to cover the CPIC, or Club Public Image Chair, responsibilities and role. We're going to cover how to get started. So it's April now, and we're leading up to the July 1st start of the new Rotary Year. We're going to talk about what you can do between now and then to really start off and hit the ground running. We're also going to talk about putting together a team and how to delegate some of those responsibilities, the public image citation, which we love, and we have a new and improved award that we're going to be announcing, and then again, some other tools and resources that are available to help you in your role as Club Public Image Chair. Now I ask you this question: is public image important? If anybody says no, I want you to raise your virtual hand or let us know, and I'm going to have Sean Patty kick you out of this webinar, because absolutely public image is important. And I think you all know that, otherwise you wouldn't be here this evening. This is my angry face when someone asks me that question. Yes, of course, but no, seriously, public image really enhances the efforts of the other committees. It enhances what we're doing with membership recruitment and retention. It helps us get more sponsors and partners for our foundation project, for our service project. So public image is essential and vital to the districts and to the clubs and to gaining more support and letting others know, communicating Rotarians' humanitarian efforts around the world and in our local communities. So what is a public image chair? I think one of the primary roles of the public image chair is to share the Rotary story. Let others know what your club is doing. Let others know what Rotary is all about. And then we get down to the technical of how to do that. But sharing the Rotary story is really the overall purpose, if you had to put it in a few words, of what a public image chair should do. And then empowering other members to do the same thing. Being a brand ambassador is really a part of being a public image chair. So making sure you're using the right logos and following those brand guidelines is a crucial element of the public image chair role. And being educated about how to let your foundation team know, let your membership know what they are or may not be doing that's is or isn't brand compliant is a really part of that role as well. Promoting events and projects, working together with those other committees to help get the word out amongst the community with what Rotary's doing. And then you're really a coordinator as well. You're coordinating and communicating these messages. So who are zones 33, 34? You know, we have the Rotary Club, and many Rotarians, a majority of Rotarians, I would say, don't really know what Rotary is outside of the club level. They go to their meetings, they participate in their projects, they might know what the district is and how their functions, but very few Rotarians know what the zone is. And you can see a map of zones 33 and 34 up there. This is a huge geographic area that our team has to cover. It's one of our primary roles is to help facilitate communications and help educate you on all of those brand guidelines, the webinars we host, the tools and resources that we can provide you with to make your job easier. But amongst our two zones, we have 31 districts. We have almost 1,700 clubs and around 67,000 members. And there's 11 of us coordinators who were introduced at the beginning of this webinar. So as you can imagine, we can't make phone calls to all of those clubs on a weekly basis and keep in touch with you. So it's really important that we hear from you. We hear from the clubs and get a good understanding of what you want, what resources would help you do your job better. The other thing that's really important in order for you to get communications from the zone team about the webinars and the resources and items on Elevate Rotary and messaging about branding or learning center courses from the RI, there's so much information we push out to you, but if we don't know who to communicate with, if we don't know who those club public image chairs are or the district public image chairs are, then we can't do that. So please let us know by entering those roles into DACDB and My Rotary especially, so we can effectively communicate down to you. Now, again, I mentioned working together and having the synergy. It's really important that our team, the zone team, works with the district leaders and the district public image chairs, and they, again, work with the club leader. So we need to have that synergy and that two-way communication where we're communicating information out, but if you have questions or need input on something, you're also working together and communicating that back to your district level team as well as us, and let us know how we can help. And then again, the synergy between the membership, public image, and foundation teams is crucial to elevate the success of your club next year. So who's responsible for public image in the club? Is it the public image chair? Is it the public image committee? How about the president and the board? Is it their responsibility to communicate the Rotary story? Club members, maybe? Or all of the above? And I venture to say that hopefully everyone would have guessed E, all of the above, because it's every Rotarian's responsibility. Now, as a club public image chair, it's important for you to understand that not every member understands how to use social media or write a press release. Find out the channels of communication that work best for certain Rotarians and then empower them to share their Rotary story, whether it's presenting about an experience at a fundraiser or a project, or sharing photos on social media. Whatever those channels might be, encourage all of the members in your club to participate in sharing the Rotary story. Now I'm going to switch gears a little bit and do some celebrating. If you haven't heard, zones 33 and 34 have a public image citation, and this was just introduced to zone 33 at the start of this Rotary year. So it's a relatively new concept for zone 33, but all clubs were eligible last July 1 to start participating in the public image citation, which consists of monthly tasks that clubs complete. And I'm happy to say that once it closes on April 30th, we will be handing out no fewer than 238 awards. We still have a few more days for clubs to get their last task completed at elevaterotary.org. We might have more than that to hand out, but we have 238 awards to hand out, which is absolutely amazing. Congratulations to all of those clubs who are receiving an award at whatever level. There's 4 different levels. So you can get started on this early, and we're going to talk about that next, but I just want to congratulate all of those clubs who participated and thank you for what you've been doing this year, because it is some work, but it also pays off, and I'm sure you've seen those results, experience those in your clubs if you've continued to complete those tasks. So we're excited to introduce the EPIC Award, the Excellence in Public Image Coordination Award. And we really tried to find another acronym that would fall in line with the CPIC and the DPIC. So I think, and the RPIC, I think EPIC falls right in line. All joking aside, I know we don't need more Rotary acronyms, but our team thought this worked out really well to exemplify all of the work that your club public image chairs, you're also coordinators, all that work that you do to make your club reach new heights when it comes to public image. So we're excited to introduce the EPIC Award, and typically it starts July 1st, but we're going to launch the task early, so you can go ahead and get started on the first 3 foundational tasks, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But if you go to Elevate Rotary Zones 34.org, you can get an idea, and there's a screenshot there. You can get an idea of what the tasks are going to be, when they're going to launch, and when the deadlines will be. So all of you, I encourage to go tonight, check it out, and be ready when July 1st hits. Have your audit done, have your public image plan done, have your content calendar done, and get a head start on earning that award. And I'm happy now to turn it over to Chris Justice, who's going to talk about building your team.
Thanks so much, Susan, and welcome everybody. I am really happy to be presenting for you today. This is a slightly shortened version of a session I was able to do at the zone training here over the last weekend. And what I am going to talk about is defining public image roles and building teams. Now, I'm going to start in a somewhat curious spot. I'm going to start with a piece of papyrus. So why am I talking about papyrus? Well, I thought I'd give you the world's shortest history of public image. We are moving on to the first paper that was developed by the Chinese. That segued into newspapers, of course, where we really started seeing public image formed. But somebody else was defining what public image was all about. Then we got to radio. So we switched from text, we still had it obviously, but we were going more verbal in terms of defining people's public image and companies' public image. We got telephones, so we were able to communicate more between, between people that actually weren't physically present with each other. Then, of course, this happened. We got television, so now we could start seeing each other, and that further defined how public image was presented. Then things went mobile. And we finally land here where everybody is walking around with public image, and things really have shifted because we started being able to really define our own public image through the social media mediums that we have. I did a little bit of an audit of our zones and discovered a couple of things that I found really interesting. 90% of Americans own smartphones, not just any phone, smartphones. Less than 40% of clubs in our zone even have a public image chair. So I hope that you can see the disconnect, and that we have a lot of work to do as combined zones in really forming our teams. And why does it matter? Well, it matters because without, as Susan described way more eloquently than I would, it matters because we have such an opportunity to support all of the areas that Rotary does so well, our membership and our foundation, and we need to be able to really provide the support to get the word out better than we have. She also talked about whose job it is, and every time I've asked this in any kind of seminar, I've always led with this: whose job is it? And everybody in the room says, they just shout out in unison, it's everybody's job. Well, is it though? And then you start looking at, well, what is the definition of public image, and what is the job description? Because I think it's natural that we all want to really look and see what the job description is before we sign up for it, right? Well, when I do this live, I have these things pop up, one by one. But as you can see, the job description is a lot, right? I mean, we have website development. We have to build out strategies for our public image. We have the graphical side of it, building out flyers. Then, of course, there's the social media side: LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, the artist formerly known as Twitter. That is X, Instagram. We need to, a few years ago, it was all about telling our story, which, continues today. We've got media relations, building out your newsletters, club promotion, event marketing, advertising, community engagement, branding. There are so many things that go into the public image piece that it can seem extremely daunting. So I built out a sample organizational chart, and this is not meant to be comprehensive. This is just illustrative, right? So really, I'd like to start out at the bottom. You have our zone public image team, and as Susan described, over the 3 zones, I believe there are 11 of us. We are really here to support the district public image chairs primarily. And district public image chairs, they are charged with building out a team. And this is where things get a little sideways, depending on what district you're in. Most districts, I would say, have at least a district public image chair. I think it's rare to see a district public image team. And I hope by this illustration that you can see how that would be beneficial. And I just picked a handful of the potential jobs that can be filled: web designers, social media, graphic design, and coming up with district content to go across the social media channels. The district public image chair not only is charged with managing whoever he or she has on the team, they're also there to support the club public image chairs. And I hope that you can see that if the district public image chair has to do all of those jobs that I showed on the previous slide for the district, it's going to be nearly impossible for the district public image chair to support all of the club public image chairs. So the district public image chair must have a team. And then once you get to the club public image chair, very similar situation, right? The district or the club public image chair needs to have a team as well. And again, I just use these as illustrations. I think the size of the team, of course, is going to vary dependent on the size of the club. It's also going to be dependent on the amount of people that are willing to serve on the team. And I want to take this opportunity to address something that came up in Glen Allen at the Zone, learning opportunity. Is that I think it's normal for clubs and districts to look at job descriptions of what people do in their daily life, right? Like, so if somebody's involved in marketing, okay, well, maybe we can get them to help marketing with the club, right? Or if they are, a web designer in real life, well, naturally they should be able to design the club's website or the district website. Well, I'll tell you that, a lot of us, we really don't want to do in Rotary what we get paid to do. It gets mundane and redundant, and frankly, it's just boring. I'm a lawyer during the day. I do a lot of residential real estate stuff, but in my Rotary life, I like to be able to tap into the more creative side. So public image has become a passion. I also help support events through audio, video. I've found that I love video production, for example. So those type things are, opportunities, to build out your team with people you might not be thinking, may be involved. And the only way you're going to be able to find out whether or not somebody is interested is if you get out and ask. So, club and, district surveys are very instrumental in terms of how asking our members how they would like to be engaged. I kind of stumbled on it, but it would have been great if, somebody had asked me earlier on in the club context, hey, are you interested in helping out with any of this stuff? Or maybe even more open-ended, can you help out? So I just do these arrows to, show you that, this grid up top, it can be as many positions as you need. And, I'm also take this opportunity to say, you should assess your club's needs. You can't do everything at the beginning. So look at your club's strengths and weaknesses and your district strengths and weaknesses and kind of decide, really what your biggest needs are and start building out your team with those. And then you can supplement, with more positions as, your team gets more robust. All right, bandwidth. So let's talk about this. We all know we have limited bandwidth. So what I am suggesting to you all, I think we have some must-dos and should-dos. Our must-dos, and as you saw illustrated in the slide with the percentage of folks that, or percentage of clubs rather, that don't even have a public image chair. I think number one, if your district does not have a public image chair, that needs to be remedied, okay? And there are some districts that at least don't have a public image chair listed. I am a huge advocate for the district public image chair to have a seat at the table, which means to me, getting that position on the executive committee, I think is an absolutely critical piece to a district being able to function effectively. The next piece, of course, is appointing the club public image chair. If we have a robust district public image chair and team, that can go a long way towards helping clubs get motivated to, get those chairs in place. District governors, you guys, if you do achievement awards, you can incentivize clubs to, appoint chairs by setting benchmark dates and, not really mandating, but incentivizing with being able to earn extra points, for example. Building out a team, and I supplemented that by saying focusing on your organizational goals. As you assess what your club or your district needs, build your team out accordingly. And of course, open your toolbox. You guys are going to hear, I'm not going to talk about it a lot, but you guys are going to hear about elevaterotary.org tonight. Make sure you familiarize yourself with that site. It should be bookmarked. You should be able to, put your finger on it anytime that you have a public image question or anything that touches public image. I go to it constantly. It's a great tool. And then your should-dos. if we can get past that first slide and we've gotten all our must-dos done, really look at the citation program. You know, I know a lot of us have the district achievement awards that, you know, we're concerned with. We're worried about, you know, achieving at the foundation level. Membership may offer different award levels, but this particular citation program is amazing in that it provides monthly touches that really are a roadmap for clubs to implement best practices in, you know, in terms of their public image activities. Attend learning opportunities. I know you guys have so much coming at you in terms of you know, the webinars and the various learning opportunities, but I want to highlight, you know, a couple. Our combined zones do monthly webinars. Tonight's is very broad, but the ones that you'll get during the year are deeper dives into important subject matter. You know, for example, our one in August is going to be a deep dive into specific tools that can use to enhance your fundraisers from a public image perspective. So that's going to be you know, a really cool one to attend. We generally do Canva, you know, at least once a year. So I know a lot of you guys want to learn that. So those are important. Also, the Learning Center that RI maintains, they have a couple of new modules that are specific to the district public image chair position, as well as the club public image chair position. So those are sort of must-dos if you want to, you know, if you want to do deeper dives in that stuff. Work together with the other teams. And what I mean by that is, you know, position yourself so that you can support the membership efforts and the foundation efforts and the fundraiser efforts. You know, I think all too often public image is simply defined as doing social media posts, and it can be so much more than that. And then, you know, that goes into the last bullet. Expand your view of public image. You know, which is way more than just being pigeonholed into making Facebook posts. Thank you so much for your attention this evening, and we'll go on to the next.
Thanks, Chris. A lot of really great information there. And I will just re-emphasize the fact that it is so important to have a team. If you're not the public image chair, go back to your club and find out who is, or step up and see if you can share that responsibility for someone else. But having a team and spreading the load can allow you to do so much more than just taking it all on as one person. So now let's get back to the Epic Award, because I'm really, really, really excited about this. Our team, you know, worked really hard to help come up with citation tasks that will guide clubs throughout the year to reach new heights when it comes to public image. We really want to elevate that experience in your capabilities to share stories, share your Rotary stories in your communities. So the citation, formerly known as the citation, the Epic Award, requires clubs to complete monthly tasks. So I'm going to go through the first 3 foundational tasks, and we call these foundational tasks because they are required in order to achieve a certain level of the award, and they do have a deadline. So we want these foundational tasks, July, August, and September, to be completed during the first quarter or so of the year, because they're so important to success the rest of the year. You can't put a public image plan together for the Rotary Year in January. So we want you doing that now, leading into the year and at the beginning of the Rotary Year. But the first task is a public image audit. And there's a few things that we ask you to do with the audit. One of those is make sure you're following the brand guidelines on your website, on your social media accounts. Make sure you're not using that really, really, really old Rotary wheel, that blue and gold wheel. And as Marshall always likes to equate that wheel, that old wheel, to like an elementary school child, that wheel would be in 5th grade by now because it's so old. We need to push those old logos out. Quit using the Rotary wheel or mark of excellence as the O in a word or the 0 in a number or as other objects. So scrub through your materials and your website and pull down any old logos and get that Rotary master brand up there. Make sure you don't have any old accounts out there. Just do a quick Google search. See if you have any old social media accounts that aren't being used and try to get rid of those. Make sure your club information is correct on any of your online presence. So if you have an old meeting date or location and people are able to find that relatively easily on the website and they go there, that doesn't put a very good first impression with them. So make sure that your online content or in print materials too, make sure that all of your materials are up to date and current when it comes to your club meeting information as well. Again, logo usage, just make sure you're using the logo as you should. And we always do a deeper dive into branding at some point throughout the year to show you new resources on the Brand Center, as well as do's and don'ts of the Rotary logo. So look for that information. You can also find last year's Check Yourself webinar at elevaterotary.org. And very importantly, make sure members of your club have access to the passwords to access the social media accounts and websites and other materials and logins. So that's the July task. Now we're going to jump over to the August task, which is putting together a public image plan. This is really important, as you can imagine, just like a business needs a business plan. You know, we like to have marketing plans. We like to have sales plans. Can you tell I'm in sales? We need a public image plan for your team this year. Now, this is dreaded, right? You have the blank Word document open, that white notebook paper, and you don't know where to start. Use AI. We've done several webinars and educational tutorials on using AI tools like ChatGPT to create content for you. So you can go to ChatGPT or another AI tool and type in, write in a public image plan for a Rotary Club, and it populates some really great information for you, so you don't have to start from scratch. We also have on our website, which Caroline will allude to, some sample public image plans, so you don't have to start, you know, coming up with things on your own. And you might find things that using tools like AI or sample plans that we have in our toolbox, you might come up with things that you weren't even thinking of. So, but use it to help lessen the workload. So that August task is to put together a public image plan, and you'll submit the task and view the task on elevaterotary.org. Our September task is a content calendar. And when we say content calendar, it primarily refers to the content that you're pushing out. So what are you going to publish on social media in July, August, September, and throughout the year? Make sure you're including the key events and initiatives, Rotary themes, and areas of focus. We do have some new themes that Rotary is rolling out for the 2024-25 year, and our team will be pushing those out to you as well. But make sure you're promoting your different campaigns, or running promotional campaigns and promoting things that are happening in your club. Another great point of content or source of content are member recognitions, Paul Harris Fellow Awards, recognizing sponsors, recognizing completed projects. Make sure you post pre, during, and after your project, showing people of action and sharing with the community and your followers what your club is doing. The communication channels, look at the communication channels that are right for your club and identify the best methods that are going to be successful for you. You know, Twitter or X might not be for every club. Facebook might be more sufficient for you, or you might find other social media channels, or maybe your club that really isn't as active on social media. There's no right or wrong, just find out what works best for your club. And again, ask AI to help. You can search for a content calendar and come up with content for your content calendar. You can have AI write social media posts for you. I like to type in, you know, write a social media post that's 2 sentences long about the upcoming Food and Wine Festival my club is hosting on November 2nd. And, you know, it spits out a 2-line social media post. You can copy and paste it, but then edit it so that it fits what you really want it to say and share it. And it just makes your life so much easier. I just put a notes section up there because when I typed in some commands for coming up with a content calendar, it was really nice that ChatGPT also gave me some really good notes that I can utilize and incorporate into my content calendar throughout the year. So those are the first 3 foundational tasks. Again, you can find them at elevaterotary.org, and I'm going to turn it over to our amazing web designer, Caroline Blocklinger, to talk to you about our website.
Well, there's been a ton of information, and I'm sure a lot of people are going dizzy right now. But there is great news, because all our webinars are recorded and archived in the Rotary Zone 33-34 webinar series. So if you missed something today, or we went too fast, or you went like, oh my God, I can't stand this, don't worry, because this webinar too is going to be recorded and is going to be available tomorrow. So how do I find that? It's very easy. Go to Elevate Rotary Zones 3334.org, and you've heard that a lot by now. You should really know that URL. You hover over the useful links, then click on Webinar Archives, and there you will find a library of 24 recorded webinars. As of tomorrow, it'll be 25 recorded webinars. So another way of going to look at webinars, which is not only the public image webinars, but you can have all these Zone 33 other areas. You can go to Vimeo or you go to YouTube and you just search Rotary Zone 3334 webinar, and you'll be amazed what's popping up. In addition, we come up with a blog. Believe it or not, we actually are writing a blog, and the blog we call PI Matters. PI because public image, we like those little alphabet soup things. I'm totally confuses me, but I'm sticking to the Rotary thing. So we have Epic, we have PI, we got Apex, we got all these sort of things. But go and check that out, because PI Matters, the blog, is dedicated. Here we are dedicated to keeping you informed, inspired, and engaged with the latest updates, webinars, and insights to enhance your understanding of public image. We give you tricks. There is something on how to find a PI chair or things like that, tricks and ideas. And we will I shouldn't be reading this. I stopped reading this now. So I'm just going to tell you, check it out, because you will find a ton of information. We're planning to have a new Public Image Matters blog about once a month. And maybe if we have great ideas in between, maybe we have two a month. So you have to go back on a regular basis and check it out. The greatest tool in our website is your PI toolbox, because it's a page with tons of links. You know, have you been looking for the new presidential theme? Have you been looking for the guidelines? Well, go to the toolbox. The public image toolbox will give you direct links. There is a little reminder about the presidential theme. Don't put that into your social media, because a presidential theme is intended to be used internally or as a lockup combined with your club logo. Again, go to the toolbox and get the link to the brand center. The brand center will tell you all about how to create a lockup. Another thing that you will find in there is the do's and your don'ts with the Rotary brand. That should be pretty much straightforward. All you need to do is click on it and you get the whole, you can compare if you are in check or not. Do you need an image, a Rotary image or anything like that? Not a problem. Go to the toolbox and find the link to the brand center, where you have a ton of images available that you can promote your Rotary Club activities. Now, there is a cool section toward the bottom. The further down you go, the better the morsels are getting, because go to the cool tool section. That's where you get all these links to the AI channels, all sort of good stuff. I would suggest that you should be checking it out, and Amanda is going to let you know more about that.
Thank you, Caroline. And if you haven't been to that website, then you guys need to, I would suggest just starting there and playing around with the website as a whole, because our entire zone team, but particularly Caroline, has done an amazing job at presenting a very easy to use Rotary public image website as a tool. And so I would say the #1 tool in your toolbox is that website, regardless of whatever else you find on there. But I want to talk a little bit about another website that Rotary International has provided for us and that Caroline alluded to, and it's Rotary Brand Center. And this particular website, I hope, has made it much easier for any club member in any position to go find the appropriate logo and the appropriate colors and the appropriate manner, so that there's no reason for any of us to ever say you have the wrong club logo ever again. You will find a link to the brand center in the chat box, but when you get to that page, there's a little drop down menu that gives you all kinds of options of things that you can do today to make sure that your club is in compliance moving forward. You can create a very specific club logo for your club or district, and that's exactly where we create our zone logos. So if you have an Interact club and they need a logo because your club starts an Interact club, you can find that for them this year and create it right there on that page. It's a very easy guide, click button, follow the directions, and you can download it in multiple formats, which includes a high resolution PDF in case you need it for your printer or you needed to send it someplace for a high resolution format. I would also tell you that in that drop down, you can find stock images and stock videos. So some of you may have been to your district or other clubs page and you see these really cool videos about polio, or maybe it's some kind of environmental project and they're professionally made, and then they use the stock video and then they put their club logo and location at the very end of it. Well, you can go get those resources from the Brand Center and use the entire video, and then use your club's appropriate logo to brand those so that you can share them on your social channels. I can't tell you how many times people have said, hey, I have no idea what the specific blue color is that I need for this sign because we're creating something custom and my printer's asking me. Well, go to that page because there's an entire section on there about the specific colors, about the fonts that you're supposed to use, the Rotary typography. So if you can't match it up, there's a page on there that tells you exactly what you're supposed to do. And if you don't know what hex codes are, it's okay because the person you're working with that's asking for those does. So you can download that information and give it directly to them. Caroline referenced the do's and don'ts guide, but I can't emphasize enough that the do's and don'ts visuals on the Brand Center are so well thought out that I had little signs printed of them for my own district this past year that I've marched around with like the circles on them that say, just say no, because it tells you exactly what not to do with that rotary wheel and exactly how to use it, mark of excellence, and your club logo in specific situations. When I have people asking me all the time, I don't know what to do, send them to the do's and don'ts page because it's very easy to see how you're supposed to lay things out. I would also tell you it gives you some really good guidelines for those of you that are writing press releases or doing things other than social media posts. It gives you Rotary's voice, it gives you brand guidelines, and it tells you specifically how to use Rotary's name. So for instance, say your club is creating a sign for a building dedication, or you've done some new we recently had a club that did a outdoor garden and wanted to name a street sign Rotary Walk. Well, the Brand Center will tell you exactly what you can and cannot do and how to use that going forward. So it's all laid out for you to answers most questions. And we're going to talk about what happens when it doesn't answer your question here in just a second. But the most important thing I want to emphasize is, why do we care about this? Why did Rotary take all the time, Rotary International spent all this time to create a custom website to make sure that your logo is correct? It's no secret to most of you that the people on this team are probably referred to as the brand police by somebody, that we're out there trying to catch you because you're not using your brand right. But that's not necessarily the case, right? It's important because consistent voice and a unified, consistent visual identity is what makes a strong brand. And as Rotarians, if we all have different looking logos and there's no consistency, and you go from country to country or state to state or zone 33 to zone 34, and the brand doesn't look the same, then we don't portray that we are a strong organization. We don't portray that we have good leadership and guidance, and we don't portray that we're trustworthy. And if you Google, you know anything about brands, if you saw a Coke and the Coke can didn't look exactly the same as the normal Coke cans that you had, you might not trust what was in the Coke can. So we want to make sure that we have our logos labeled correctly everywhere so that people trust us. And that's why we are such strong advocates of, please use your logos correctly. Please make sure you're not using the old colors. Please make sure you don't just have the mark of excellence or the Rotary wheel out there by itself. Our team, along with Rotary International and PI chairs across the globe, just want to convey to people out there that we are a strong organization and they can trust us with their membership, that they can trust us with their donor dollars, they can trust us to volunteer on our projects, and that they can trust us to be our corporate and community partners. And so that's why the brand is so important. That's why we ask you to do that, because at the end of the day, if we all get behind making sure our branding's correct, it's going to directly impact the Rotary Foundation and you as an organization and as a club. I will say though, once you get your brand and your logo done, this team is still a fan of Canva. So you heard Chris reference Canva earlier. And there's a ton of graphic programs, but the reason we're still such big fans of Canva is that it's still the best program out there with a free resource that anyone can use. It's very user friendly. It has a lot of really great, easy to use templates that you can go in and add your club logo. It's got great free stock that you can find the photos you want to, and Canva is improving every single day. Literally every week when I log on, I feel like there's some kind of new upgrade or improvement that I can play with. And so whether you want to invest in a paid Canva account or you just want to use that free account, there's an opportunity for you to make sure that you're setting up your brand correctly across the board so that you have the right colors, the right logo, and you save it. And it gives you the ability for you or anybody else who's logging in to have a consistent brand identity across everything you're doing. So I'll show you, Canva has a brand hub. And if this particular screenshot is of a paid account, but on a free account, you would still have the ability to upload one logo and 3 colors. So you can pick your primary colors from Canva, and you can pick your primary logo from the brand center, and you can add them in there and set them up so that when you go to create an image, all you have to do is go to your logo and your colors, and you know that you have the right thing. For those that want a paid account in Canva, you also get the ability to save out the specific fonts from the brand center. You can save out the avenues of service icons. It has the ability to do that. And you can even go into the brand center and download polio images and download environmental images and have very specific images set up in your brand center so that you don't have to keep going back to the brand center over and over again. You can just use those within the brand hub itself within Canva. And I want to take a second for those of you who have been with us for a while, and this may not be your first boot camp or you use Canva, and point out that Canva Create Work Conference is coming up. You can register now for free and see all of the new magic stuff that's going to be rolled out. Usually each year, this time last year, they rolled out all of the Canva Magic Center that has the AI integration and gives you different things. So if you know about Canva or you're already a Canva advocate, go sign up to find out the new stuff. And for those of you that are looking at me going, I have never used Canva and I have no clue what to do, I'm not a graphic designer. Well, good for you, lucky for you. Canva also has design school. So you can go to canva.com/design school, and it literally says Canva for beginners. And once you get done taking the Canva for beginners class, then I would highly encourage you to use the Canva for nonprofits lessons, because it gives you some really basic information about how to build some basic visuals. And I want to stop and say quickly, if you think that we only use this tool for social media posts, you can create posters, you can create pop-up banners, you can create flyers, you can create newsletters, you can create a letterhead for your foundation or your donor giving. You can create all kinds of basic document resources within Canva and save them as templates in the right color for you to use from now until whoever rolls into the position next. So don't think of Canva as a design tool just for your social media post. Realize that you can use Canva in all kinds of ways. Finally, if you've done all that and you're still not sure if your images are compliant or if you're using the logo correctly, we are really proud to introduce a new tool in the toolbox on Elevate Rotary's website, which is Design Review. So as of today, we have launched a link on our link that will be put in the chat, where you can take whatever image you've created and submit it to us, and we will go through and make suggestions to you on how to improve it or tell you that it looks great and you've done an amazing job. And so we want to see those designs so that you can, we want to see those designs so one, we can compliment you and talk about how amazing public image people you are. And two, we want to see those designs so that we can help you make sure that you don't spend a lot of money on a sign or a pop-up banner or a tent and it be wrong. And somebody just say, hey, you're not supposed to be using that, because that's the worst thing in the world. So if you guys have any questions about Design Review, I'm sure we can hit it at the end, but I'm going to turn it over to Billy now to take us on to our next.
Great. Thanks, Amanda. The last thing that you talked about sounds very exciting. I think a lot of people will be able to use that. So this is the action plan, and Director-elect Patrick has asked us to reference it and use it in everything that we're doing going over the next 2 years. Public image plays a crucial role in the action plan by enhancing awareness of Rotary's work and values, Sharing your club stories help illustrate the tangible difference Rotary makes in communities around the world. It fosters connections and allows us to engage with others. Director-elect Patrick also continues to suggest that as we move from one Rotary year to the next, it's important to have continuity as we transfer from one year to the next, and in particular, to start to have a 3-year plan. Put several people on your public image team so that somebody can be the chair next year, and you're grooming somebody to be the chair even next year. So your feedback, we have dueling forwards. In your April and December task, we requested feedback from you, and we've got lots of responses, and we've taken those into consideration. We look at them, and for example, the webinar topics we select often come from your requests, and the blog came from a request, and that design center also was a request. So probably one of the most common requests is for graphics for monthly themes, and our team is working on templates that you can add your logo to. We're going to launch these at the July meeting, so now you have a reason not to miss that July meeting. So please continue to contact us with any resource you might think would be beneficial or topics you want to learn more about. There's a Contact Us button or piece at the bottom of the website that you can use, and it will go to either Susan or I, depending on what zone you're in. Or if you caught our email addresses at the beginning, email any one of us, and we'd be glad to help you. So stay connected with us on Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn. Like us, join us, follow us, and share. These are the important dates that are coming up. Notice the one in blue is not a public image. It's a membership webinar, but we have all of the webinars on the calendar, and Caroline has made it so that you can download the calendar and not miss anything. So make sure you're signed up to receive our emails and important dates and announcements. You can sign up for emails at Elevate Rotary Zones 3334.org, and that's zones with an S. So you need to have more than one zone. So questions, please put your questions in the Q&A section at the bottom of your screen. And if we don't get to your question tonight, join us on May 8th for Ask Me Anything. So Sean, I think you have a few questions in there. One of the questions that I saw was, does public image belong under the public relations job description? And I would say that we use those two interchangeably. They're not the same thing, but you could either be the public image chair or the public relations chair. But Rotary has gone to PIC, Public Image Chair, to describe this job. So it might be easier if we all use the same terminology. It is not exactly, but yes, they both go hand in hand.
Question, Billy, I'll go ahead and read.
Okay.
There's one on, and maybe you or Amanda might be able to help with this, but where do you find the flags or the banners in the brand center? It says feather flags. I'm assuming that's the club banners. So I don't think there's actually, those aren't in the brand center. It's actually left up to each individual club to work with an approved Rotary vendor. But there are brand guidelines to help direct you. And I would encourage, if you're putting together a banner or updating your club banner, to follow the brand guidelines, because I know people get really creative with those, with the mark of excellence, and we're really steering away from that. If you see in each of our coordinator backgrounds, we have Rotary Zones 3334. It's the master brand logo with our zone signature. You should have your club signature there in that, or your club name there in that signature line. And there's various formats of doing it. But going back to the banners, if that's not addressing the question, just type it again and we'll try to get to it. But I would encourage you to follow. You can find approved Rotary vendors on the brand center as well to work with.
And Amanda, this question is probably for you. Doesn't it require a 501c3 for a Canva nonprofit, or can a club, which is a 501c4, qualify?
9 times out of 10, your club can qualify for a free Canva account. And I say 9 times out of 10 because there are some certainties where, for whatever reason, because of how your club is listed, you can't get that account. But as a 501c4, like as an individual club, Rotary clubs are traditionally recognized by Canva as nonprofits. I will qualify this by saying the only time I have seen someone not be able to get the free account is when whoever set up your tax stuff at the beginning, right, does not put the word Rotary in it. So if there's no Rotary for them to identify you as a Rotary club, you may be challenged with the free accounts. And if you can get a free account through Canva for nonprofit, I would highly encourage it, because you can, that gives you, like, you could literally have everyone in your club have an account at that point in time with the brand center and all the bells and whistles. But I did want to qualify that you can do a lot of what I shared today through the free account. So if you can't get that, don't panic. There's still ways for you to build that out. And if you're interested in more about Canva, then I'm sure to stick around, because we will be talking a lot more in detail about that at some point in time in the year.
And Paul was the one that was asking about the feather flags. The feather flags are the ones that go on the ground and go up 6 feet. And you might be able to find that on Rotary.org. But the second one, there is a step and repeat people of action that you can download and give to your vendor to create for you, because I did it. So it is out there on Rotary.org. I think we hit all the questions. Okay, the citation date of April 30th, is that for the 23-24? Yes, that's for finishing up this current year. And then we're giving you a jump start on next year.
I see Emily asked if we can have 2 public image chairs in a club. Absolutely. There's if that would encourage you to work together as a team and get the job done together, definitely you can have co-chairs. I would just make it clear to the club who the right point of contact would be for certain information, so it's getting to the right person. Maybe one of you is the forward facing or front facing point of contact as the chair, and the other one is kind of in a co-chair position. But regardless, we definitely, if that's going to help fill the role, then absolutely we encourage you to do that. And the other thing, Billy talked about is that continuity is so important. So bring someone on as maybe a co-chair one year as the current chair is phasing out, and have them sort of be an understudy throughout that year. And it's really important at the district level too, not just the club level, to have that cohesive and partnership working together, so that you don't lose some of the stuff that the former team has built upon. And if you're new to the public image chair role and you're on this call and you're getting a little anxious about some of the tasks we want you to complete, there are samples online that you can use AI tools. But if the public image chair, if your predecessor didn't give you the public image plan, assuming they put one together, if they completed that task but you don't have the information, just reach out to us and we can pull it from our bank and get you that club public image chair plan from the previous year. Same with the content calendar and other items that they submitted for the monthly task. That is only applicable if they completed those tasks, but we do have that data stored.
If just one thing about the 2 public image chairs, Rotary only will recognize one. So if you put it in DACDB, the first one that you put in goes up. The second one cannot get into DACDB as a club officer. And so they can't change the goals. So be very careful about which one you recognize first, because that will be up there and they'll be able to change their goals and add the achievements, but the second one will not.
So here's another question. Barbara Howard is asking, are you limited to only the funds that are in the brand center when creating graphics? Amanda, do you want to take that one?
Thanks, Caroline. So at the end of the day, when you are designing in the brand center, so you're in brandcenter.rotary.org, they are going to design things with the specific fonts that are on the brand guidelines. And there's a couple of those guidelines. So when you look at the backdrop that we've created today behind our heads, I will tell you that I know, because I know brand guidelines, what the Rotary Zone fonts are, but the public image coordinator and coordinator team fonts are not going to be the Frutiger or the Open Sans fonts, because we designed that specifically. So as long as you are not messing with the fonts on the Rotary Zones or the Rotary Club of logo, you do have, I mean, we're not going to tell you that you didn't use permanent marker, and so we are going to disapprove your design. But you do have to stick with the fonts in Brand Center that are specific to Rotary, that they have identified as their brand itself. And I will, for the questions about the flags and the banners, if you go to the Brand Center website, there's a little search button at the very top, right? And you type in backdrops, it's going to pull up all the backdrops that are available. There are no flags available. There are some backdrops available, but if you want a club backdrop, then you are going to have to work with a third party. So there are some things that you can do in the Brand Center, but there are other things. There's a reason why Rotary has preferred vendors, because Rotary doesn't want to get into the print business, right? So they'll help you with guidelines, but they're going to leave the printing up to somebody who's an expert. So that would have to be how you do that.
Thanks, Amanda. That's, navigating the Brand Center used to be really, really difficult, but it's made significant improvements. Honestly, you don't have to log into the Brand Center to access the brand elements. So if you have a printer that's working on something for you, you can just send them the link for the Brand Center and they can access everything themselves. So you don't have to dig through there and figure out what they may or may not need. You can let those professionals find it. And it's very easy to navigate. And the search toolbox, like Amanda's talking about for the banners, I mean, it's really good. So you can search for people of action photos, you can search for in polio now videos. It's the search aspect of the Brand Center is really, really great to use as well. So did you have anything else to add to that, Amanda?
No, but I was going to answer Julie's question about customizing videos in the Brand Center. So Julie, to answer your question specifically, what I encourage people to do is download those videos and use Canva, because you can download the video from the Brand Center, upload the video back to Canva, and then just add an image at the end, just like you would do a graphic that has your club logo, and say, join us for our next meeting at such and such location and time, and then use it on your social channels to invite people to come participate with you. So just download them the way you want to, and then you don't have to actually edit the video. You can just add an actual image at the end that it just rolls into and export it back out. And so Canva, if you want the Canva tutorials, they will teach you how to do that with video, but that's how you use the ones that are out there, and use it and put your club logo on it.
I know we need to wrap this up pretty quickly, but I think we answered this before. Amanda, if you're outside the US, can you get the free Canva account?
I'm going to go with it. I don't. So here's the answer to that question is I'm not the one to answer it, but I'm pretty sure the answer. Yes. Marshall says yes. So I'm pretty sure it's yes. I didn't want to be the subject matter expert outside of the United States, but I'm pretty sure yes.
Cool.
All right. Well, I think that we can wrap it up.
I got one more question that I'd like to answer. That's from Michelle Lewis. She is a new PI person or PI chair, and she's overwhelmed with the links. So where should she go first? I would say go to elevaterotary.org and go to where you need to go as the first step you need to take as a PI chair, which is you getting started as a PI chair.
Yeah, there's a banner right there on our homepage. When you go to elevaterotary.org, it'll say basically answer your question. New to PI, click here. So right. Thank you so much, everyone, for all of the great questions and your excellent participation tonight. And obviously, thanks for this amazing team, Zones 33 and 34, all you wonderful RFICs for everything you do, and Sean behind the scenes there. We look forward to seeing you if you're available on May 8th for our informal Zoom meeting. We're going to have the AMA session where we kind of have a follow-up and a deeper dive. So if there's any questions we didn't get to tonight, we will go through and sort through those and bring them to our AMA session. But bring your questions too, and we look forward to seeing you then. Thanks, everyone. Have a great evening.